Um, I wanted to do a quick note on learning, on what on how it on what it means to learn. I guess this is specific. This is in the context of software development, but it applies to anything really. But I noticed that there quite often people seem to be kind of afraid, or it almost seems that they're kind of worried about learning because it means acknowledging some form of kind of vulnerability in themselves, that there's some sort of weakness, and that quite often people have an issue with disclosing and acknowledging that weakness. So I just wanted to kind of mention a few things. So I guess if you see someone that's smarter than you, it's tempting to kind of feel kind of inferior to that person because they know more than you, and that kind of then you feel insecure about that. But all it really means is that person has spent more time learning than you have. Broadly speaking, that's what it means. They've spent more time learning than you. They may have had more time to learn. Whatever it is, they might be older than you. They might have just been exposed to kind of more learning. But that's fundamentally kind of what it'll boil down to. And in order to learn, it kind of seems to me there are kind of a couple of things that need to be, a couple of criteria that need to be met. One, there needs to be an acknowledgement that either there's something you don't know, or something that you're wrong about, or something that maybe in the past you've been right about and now whatever it is you know is wrong, and that you've acknowledged that situation exists. And the other thing is having a desire to do something about it, to say, actually, this thing that I don't know, I'd like to know it, or this thing that I feel I might be wrong about, I want to understand more about. And if you have those two things, then you're kind of ready to learn. But it's sometimes difficult to acknowledge the fact that you might be wrong about something. And at least initially, it feels like you're making yourself vulnerable, you're exposing a weakness. But I don't know. I've always found I haven't always found this at all. I used to feel that exposing what I didn't know was a vulnerability. I felt insecure about it. But something changed. I'm not sure what it was. Something changed, and I found it a lot easier. And I don't know. To be honest, I guess the truth about it, I don't know what changed. But as I've got older, I've realised that actually it's quite empowering to be the person in a room that sticks your hand up and says, "I don't know what that means," or "Can you explain this again?" or whatever it is. That's actually really empowering. And quite often you're the person that's doing. Everyone else is thinking it, or many other people are thinking it, and you're the one that's done it. And actually, the fear that somehow your peers will look at you worse for it doesn't hold true. You will gain more respect from your peers for having that willingness to learn, that willingness to kind of do things better. So the contrary situation is exposing your weaknesses and exposing those things which you don't know about actually makes will likely kind of improve your standing with your peers. So being open to learning and just being able to just almost just see everything that you know as just as transitory. It's just what you know to be correct now may not be correct tomorrow. So if you kind of constantly kind of keep what you know is kind of, okay, it's the best I know now, but always being open to changing that view and adopting new best practice when it comes along, new ideas, new thoughts, new ways of thinking, and being able to then kind of, meld that into your current knowledge and thinking. It's a good place to be, and it's very empowering. So, yeah, do not fear learning.